my longevity uh, healing therapy for 280 plus patients. So currently I'm doing a longevity treatment with 280 plus, 80-year plus clients. And the reason I'm doing it is they were both very severe, severely ill and really very weak. And, we were, of course, afraid of, uh, the worst, right, happening, to put it, that way. And these are people who are very strong and, strong-willed and, you know, want want don't want to just give up, and want to be don't care what the age is. They want to be as fit and as strong for as long as possible because they like to um, appreciate and enjoy their life, or share with the loved ones for as for as long as possible. And why not, right? So in this video I'll discuss these conditions with you. And if I could ask you a very great favor, if you like the contents of my videos, please also remember to like and subscribe to my channel. This will greatly help my channel to be able to reach out to more people. And if I could ask you even one greater favor, if you could share it with at least just one other person that you know, or your social network, and also add your comment. This I will highly appreciate, and thank you in advance for it. A big thank you. So for those who don't know me, I am Osman. I'm a bioenergy healer on a master level with telepathic healing capabilities, specializing in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, amongst a host of other physiological, psychological, and even spiritual ailments. I have a special promotion running, um, a 10-minute anxiety fix for just $5. You can visit my website, yogawellness786.com, for more information about my services, myself, and contact information, how to go about doing this. And remember that you don't pay until the treatment is completely done, especially minor treatments. You need to be confident and be convinced that this is working for you. If you're not convinced, it's fine. We will not, you will not be obligated to make any payment. So also I'm an advanced level yoga and meditation teacher, having practiced this art form for almost 50 years, and with students in over 44 countries. In that period, I studied under various masters from different schools of thought, different cultures across the globe, from the Eastern, Far Eastern, Middle Eastern, and Western, as well as tempered with a foundation of empirical scientific information and barometer, right? As a test. To that end, I've created my own unique protocols that are adapted for the 21st century, making things much easier, quicker, faster, more time efficient, and results orientated. To that end, I now have students in over 44 countries, and my favorite protocol is the 5-minute yoga and meditation program, which you can download for free by visiting my website, yogawellness786.com, and in exchange for subscribing to my blog, and where you can get more information about my services. Also remember, my therapies are all natural based and not a replacement for medical treatment. So regarding these two, fortunately, they are family members and they are sisters. One is 80 years old, the other one is 82 years old. She is due to, in 2 months' time, turn 83, God willing. Or, uh, let's be positive, and that's why, I mean, they came to me, right? So the one was extremely ill. She could not even eat. She wasn't eating properly, just barely having some type of cereal or porridge, just to keep life and body together for a period of 3 months, and made her very weak. She could not even, walk, because she lived in a duplex type of, apartment or home, and she's got her own property, her own home, and she lives alone. And she could not go. Her bedrooms were, upstairs, and she could not even go to her bedroom, and I administered the treatment for her telepathically as well. And it took some time, for her to recover, because that's how ill she was. When someone takes a long time, it means they were, very critically ill. Because with critical care recovery patients in ICU, it takes about 10 days before they are feeling, good enough to go home and be discharged. And after 10 days, she wasn't perfect, but she was feeling fine. She was eating again, um, normal food. And she was, of course, within 2 or 3 days, I think by the second day, she was able to, climb the stairs and so forth. But she was still very weak. And after that, I felt that because of the age, there's a lot of damage due to the aging process, completely over all the organs and the whole general circulation, nervous system, everything, right? So I said, to be fair, we're not here just to save your life. We want to give you hope. If you want, then they engage they want to feel okay, for the, and we took a 100-day treatment and started with it, and they becoming stronger and stronger, more independent, doing everything normally as though it was 20 years ago, but in order to have the safety measure, this particular patient also was a long-standing a meditator for over 60 years, and practicing a very light form of pranayama, which I would say is very ineffective, right? Although, I mean, any little bit counts, but it's so little, it's negligible, right? So maybe that helped her to reach the age of 80 anyway, right? The meditation and she only did 3 rounds, of pranayama on a very mild scale. So I taught her the correct protocol that I normally teach, which brings about substantive, noticeable, and significant results. And she's performing that while I'm doing the energy transference. The energy transference will act to unblock, the chakras as well, in addition to repairing the general body damages. And that's how it repairs. It removes the blockages that is causing, that's the intrinsic cause or the root cause of most of the physiological, or 90% of the physiological problems. By clearing that, it clears or makes it possible for those areas to heal. The various, there's probably over 100, maybe 1,000 problems that need attention. The second patient, okay, let's just finish this first patient. So she wasn't, because I have 4 levels, in the uh, uh, pranayama protocol, 4 basic levels, and she's on level 2.5, because she went slightly, 2 was too easy and 3 was a bit too hard, so she's doing 2.5. And after, I would say, about 18 days, it started to become easier. It means that's how much of blockages, right? And when I'm sending the energy, they sometimes feel the vibration in the body. So the vibration was from the toe up to the knees in the left leg, and the right leg, it was from the toe up to the knees, but a throbbing pain on the right leg from the knee down. So there was where there is just the vibration, mean it's cleared up to the knee. It normally clears from the toe upwards when you're doing the energy transference telepathically. When you're doing it physically, hands-on, it goes from the head down, because I normally, target the to send the energy to via the center, power center, energy center at the center of the forehead, down to the pineal gland, and the pineal gland in charge of, or the boss of, all the major energy centers, which then transmit the energies to the subsidiary energy centers, knowing that there are 26 active energy centers by default for regular people. And for those who are advancing, the dormant ones together totals a total of 114 energy centers. But the balance, only 26 is normally active. And through the process of one of the processes is yoga, meditation, the yogic sciences. There are other sciences as well, like the Far Eastern science, Tai Chi, martial arts, their meditation styles as well, and their therapies like acupuncture and herbal medications and so, and you get the Western therapies like normal fitness training, cardiovascular, stretching, all these disciplines add to um, getting into some type of regular discipline practice helps to enhance and awaken more of the dormant capacities. And those who are academically inclined as well, by the discipline of continuously going through maybe a degree program or completing high school or completing or just doing self-study regularly or reading a lot, they generally are awakening the higher capacities of brain, meaning the more than the default 26 energy centers are being awakened. So coming back to this patient that I'm doing, so she started now only after 18 days to report that it's starting to become easier, the breath, because this is my barometer, my tool, my measuring tool. If she can reach the fourth level, which should take a few weeks to a few months, right? So I'm confident that by the time I've completed 100 days, I've just completed for this particular patient now completed 18 sessions. So by the time I've completed 100, you should reach level 4. If one reaches level 4, you have a very great propensity for being a centenarian, right? And if it's tempered with a powerful whole foods, plant-based dominant diet, this will be very grateful as well. So I'm not saying you have to become, completely plant-based or vegetarian or vegan, but add 70% of your plate from plant foods, but wholesome sources like salads and not overcooked foods. Try to keep cooked. Of course, lentils and legumes you have to cook them. You can't have them hard and raw. And grains, healthy grains, quinoa, brown rice, and so forth. Healthy choices and moderate quantities as well. Not more than a cupful of cooked rice. And my favorite legumes is chickpeas, very high in protein, by the way, 19 grams of protein per 100 grams cooked. And 1 cup uncooked of dry chickpeas, if cooked well, will come to 3 cups of cooked chickpeas. So it's something very economical. You can buy them in bulk and store them. I normally buy my seeds, nuts, and legumes, in bulk from a wholesale supplier. That's the cheapest. For about 3 months supply at a time, it works out cheaper. And I'll come to that in another video. So coming back to this patient, I'm expecting her that, I mean, from a condition when I spoke to her, she seems amazing, right? So I said, I don't see why you should very easily live another, if you continue the breathwork protocol and not leave it, you should not, easily, easily pass another 25 years. I said, what, for 105? I don't want to be so old. And I said, no, but you'll be strong and fit, stronger and fitter than what you are now. Because this is the power of yoga and meditation, right? If you don't leave the practice. Right? It's not like 100% guarantee. Results may vary. I know people, practitioners, who got sick and were bedridden for several years, but they weren't practicing the protocols correctly. So any practice doesn't mean, you must practice substantive and correct procedures and protocols. So, coming to the second patient, she was the sister, 82 years old, turning 83 in 2 months' time. And she had to be permanently with an oxygen tank because if she just walks a few steps, she's out of breath and she needs to breathe through the oxygen tank. So one of the earliest indications of inflammation and the collapsing of the immune system in some patients is it exhibits itself with inflammation of the lungs. And one of the first thing that goes away when you introduce anti-inflammatory protocols like energy healing and dietary protocols like the raw cruciferous um, uh, vegetables, blended together with a handful of or half a cup, preferably, of flax seeds, and consume daily, and leaving out all other foods until the inflammation is down. So the first thing that goes away is the breathing problems, the lung problems, right? One of the first things. And so I knew that she's got severe inflammation, of course, brought on by, age. She's 82 years old, right? And she was really struggling and suffocating, and she couldn't even sleep properly. In the middle of the night, she used to wake up with severe pain, and she have to pace up and down to try to get her breath back, and put on the and she's on the oxygen tank, and really cannot really be mobile because she have to take this oxygen tank with her everywhere that she goes. And then I think within the first 3 days that I sent the energy, wow, because I feel the depletion of energy in my body, I get very drained, right? And I feel very exhausted and very, I need a lot of rest and tiredness, and as though I'm treating, a severe intensive care, critical care recovery patient that's on the brink of death and all medications failed, right? And is expected to, not to survive, more than just a few days, right? And that's how the energy transference was just for the first 3 days. And then after that, the next 7 days became smooth and easy. And I even tried, because of her age, she doesn't have her own mobile, and her daughter was taking care of her. Also, is a very busy person, and she was on vacation, and was using, making the best use of her vacation, going out, and wasn't, together with a mom, at that time. So I had like a break in communication. But after about 10 days, when I managed to speak to, get connection, she feels much better. She also, of course, still on the oxygen, but that's why I'm continuing the protocol to a 100-day protocol. So she was even moving around and visiting, of course, the oxygen tank was as a backup in the car, but not on the oxygen tank 24/7, right? And, gaining strength. So I'm hopeful that in her case, that after the 100-day protocol, with her, I finished now 13 days. And so I'm left with 87 more days, and she would improve. So I tried suggesting, dietary protocols and so forth. But at that age, she's like not very, inclined towards, making any cutbacks in her diet and so forth. Not that she's having very harmful foods and so forth. She's having basic, regular, I would say a good omnivore diet, well, reasonably balanced, and nothing, with red flags on it that I know of. And her daughter is actually a nutritionist, so I'm sure the daughter is, ensuring that her mom is, following some sort of healthy guideline. So this is the problem with many people. It's very difficult to break the bad eating habits, and I understand that very well, because to make, adjustments to what is actually good for you is very extreme, and to completely wipe out things that are bad for you. And I normally follow a middle path and try to, adjust the diet according to the patient's temperaments. And there are some patients that absolutely zero change they can make, right? So, but what is important in these two stories is that you don't have to just resolve yourself to accepting, death when you get in, now that you're old. No, you can outlive many people, right? And there is ways you can recover and be. I mean, look at the first patient was 80 years old. She's fit as a fiddle and feeling very strong, and there's like almost absolutely nothing wrong with her, right? And she's working like normal and doing, she's a seamstress by profession, and she still has customers coming, want to get things, stitched and sewn and created, right? And she's still doing that, and she still has that, she's able to do it again with passion. And she explained to me, there was one patient that came, I mean, one customer of hers that came, and she, made an outfit for her, and it was so, she made her to fit it on. It was a perfect glove fit, first shot, first round. And the client was so happy, and even she was so happy, from it. Like how I get so happy when my clients recover, and my migraine headache clients is recovering, and the terminal illness people expected to die in a few days, they're all recovering, and they're following my advices, and so forth. And I'm extending, making a difference and an impact in people's lives. And also, there are many people who are interested in learning, this protocol, and I've taught it to them, but they don't want to give it to others. They want to use that energy build up for their own purposes, and that is fine as well. To enhance their own lives, enhance themselves, psychologically and in their careers and in their personal life. That's good, as well. But I found, greater satisfaction in being able to heal people and save people's lives. That at least in my life, I've saved, so many people's lives, and maybe they would have lived anyway, but I've changed their lives, substantively. So many, right, over the decades. And this gives me a great sense of satisfaction that if my time comes, which it comes to almost every person, right? I don't like to say every person. Um, I love fantasy, and I love, living on hope that we can eventually crack the puzzle for the deathless body, especially with the developments in science by the Japanese scientist Tanaka. He won the Nobel Prize for finding the scientific formula to reverse age mice, right? And even reverse what is impossible in normal conventional science, the damage to the optic nerve with the same mice. It reversed it. And so this gives us great hope, and he won the Nobel Prize for it. So of course they found the general. So now we have to find an adaptive method. We found the basic protocol and the raw, formula. So just to find the specific formula for humans, which is a bit tricky. We can't just humans are not mice. You can't just inject any chemicals and see what happens, right? If things go wrong, you can't be doing that type of things to humans. So anyway, that's tricky. Let's see how they find that. But the solution is near. AI is here. So easy to, fast forward the brainstorming. So hope that information helps you and gives you hope. And take care of yourself always.